glad we got video stuff situated. So after watching what you were doing there, what I'd like to do is basically update things, update and approach, discuss better practices. I would say you're spending, if you're spending that much time like you did in the video, if you're spending that much time practicing just one thing, that's too much. It's overkill. So there are some things to keep in mind to know when it's time to progress. So diminished returns is a big thing. Big thing. So I'm going to do here is continue adding some things. So in addition to speed work, I'd like you to start adding in some repetition. So this way you get practice, adding in some volume, some longer note durations being picked. Doesn't really sound right. You're just picking for a longer period of time. There we go. Anyway, so I believe it was this one. Yes, that you were working on. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. So how do you know it's time to call it a day? What I like to do is pay attention to when it takes about 1 or 2 minutes of really busting your butt to get a take. And when you finally do, you're done. That's it. If it's taking like 2 minutes of really struggling to get that, that's it. You're done. You don't need to do any more because, or at least you don't need to try and go any faster that day, because diminished returns gets huge. And then it just gets harder and harder to just milk out another 5 BPM. You do not want to spend 5 to 10 minutes just getting 5 beats per minute faster that day. I feel it's a huge waste of time because you're going to waste energy that you could have more easily the next day. So, because we're just kind of focused on one short drill, I think it's okay to like shoot for like 15 minutes max. Now, here's the thing. Let's get into more detail here. When I'm practicing stuff, about 45 minutes is it. After 45 minutes, my brain is garbage. It is mush. I have some serious brain fog. I can't keep going. If I did, it would be just a shit show, and I'd get more and more tired, and I'm going to be eating into my recovery. And there is absolutely a recovery factor in all this stuff. Not just because of pushing yourself mentally, but eventually, when you get going really fast, physical limitations or physical recovery, I mean, that's another big thing, okay? So, with something like this, it's really going to take like 10 minutes to reach your max speed anyway. Like, or even just close to it. If you know, you're not screwing around. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just giving an example. So if, for anyone who takes what's highlighted right now, something like this, they just get in, they don't screw around, just boom, you hit it, go up 5, hit it, go up 5, hit it, go up 5. It's going to take about 10 minutes to really reach that kind of spot. On average. Some people could be a little less, some people could certainly be a bit more. So one of the things I added to the top of this file, you're working things up without the repeat first, which is cut off on the screen. There. So working it up without the repeat first. And then you're going to about 15 to 20 minutes max here. Here's the thing. It's a good idea to like set a timer. Pay attention to how long you are trying to go faster and faster. If you reach 15 minutes, done. You're not going to try and go any faster that day. Unless you think you really have a ton more left in you. If you reach, let's say, 180 at the 15-minute mark, but you're not tired, you still feel fresh, and you feel like you can absolutely keep going, fair, keep going. But after those 15 minutes, if you're like, man, this is a son of a bitch, definitely call it, definitely. But make sure you end with a good take, okay? If you max out prior to the 15 minutes, that's fine, call it there. And remember, if it's taking you up to 2 minutes of really struggling to get a good take, once you finally get that good take, that's it. You don't need to go any further because you're just gonna, the whole diminished returns thing. It's like just really not worth it at that point. So this is what you can do to help solidify what you have accomplished in terms of building up your speed for that day. You're gonna start adding in repeats. So this kind of talks about what you do there. So you put in a repeat, but drop it by 10 beats per minute, whatever speed you got to. Let's say you maxed out at 200. So then, when it's time to add in the repeat, drop it 10 beats per minute. So now you're going to try and play twice through at 190. If you cannot do that, after 5 tries, drop the speed another 10. Try it again. Every time you cannot accomplish the repeat after 5 tries, lower the speed, okay? So once you can play whatever drill you're working on twice through, you stay at that speed, you were able to do the repeat, and then you try doing it 3 times. And again, if you cannot accomplish that 3rd repeat after 5 tries, drop the metronome by 10. And then once you can do it 3 times in a row, do it 4 times in a row. So let's demonstrate that with this guy. And if you would like to go back to the start and add in the whole repeat thing there too, that's totally fine. Because we're going to have a couple weeks before we're able to send stuff back and forth again because of that vacation I'm about to go on. So, alright, so yeah, let's use 200 as the example. Actually, no, let's use 170, because I think the fastest you did was like 175. No, let's do 175. Alright, 175, so without the repeat first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you get the repeat there, you're going to drop it down 10. So for this example, we'll go down to 165. Now we add in the repeat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So say you did do that. You got the repeat in there at 165, so now you try it 3 times in a row. But let's say you couldn't get all 3 repeats done. So, yep, drop it down 10. So let's demo the 3 repeat at 155. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay at that speed, play through the entire thing 4 times, and again, if after 5 attempts you just cannot get it, just drop it another 10 beats per minute. So, and then that's the plan. So just keep dropping it until you're able to get all the repetitions in that you're shooting for that day. So that's the plan. So again, you can just stay with the current exercise you're doing because you haven't reached the 180. Or you can start over at the beginning because we're going to have a couple weeks until we can start sending stuff back and forth again. So with that being said, best way to do this? You know we're not going to have a couple weeks. We have this week. What am I talking about? I'm already thinking ahead to Thursday. So if you can send something over, like we talked about Wednesday, instead of Thursday, basically the same time you sent the last thing would actually be fine. If you can do it a day earlier, that would be better though. Yeah. If not, that'll be okay. I should still be able to, I'll have time to check out what you send before I leave. But yeah, if you can do it a day earlier, that would be great. So yeah, try this idea for the next couple of days, and we'll see how it goes. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will see you in your video in a few days.